culture with DJs and singing graffiti art are expressed every day within the inner cities of America and the world. You are not hearing hip-hop, you are hip-hop.
Oh, man. So, I was sitting down, getting all these ideas together, and I thought, where do I want to start with this conversation? Because there's a lot going on right now. There is a lot, but it's okay. I have a way of working it all in. So June 2nd, 2008, turns out was the first day. It was the day that I joined YouTube. I was like, let me go look. Let me go see how long I have been on this particular platform. So joined 2008. I didn't really do anything until 2010. I really thought I was busier than that, but turns out I was not. I had a lot of videos that I was sharing, but turns out I was sharing that on a micro blogging site called Pop Sugar, for those who remember that. And I thought, I don't have as much history here as I thought I did. Oh, well. So let me go into where I'm going with this, because I thought, let me share a little bit of history first before we go down the path of how I believe we got where we are today. Now, I want to bring up something. AOL chat rooms. I don't know how old some of you are in the audience watching either now or in the replay, but I remember AOL chat rooms. I remember chat rooms on Yahoo. I recall all of those things because, when we got our first computer, it was an Apple computer. I remember buying it from Best Buy, like one of my first credit cards too. And I was so excited to get in there and do the things. And this is when AOL would send you this CD-ROM to get AOL online. So we're talking dial-up. We're talking some time ago. But I remember getting into the chat rooms and jumping into all kinds of conversations and talking with people. You didn't have a lot of the, what do you call it? And I'm going to say, I don't want to call them bullies per se, but people who thought they knew everything. There wasn't a lot of that. We just kind of shared our ideas. You didn't have these keyboard warriors and whatnot. We just kind of shared our ideas and was out there doing our thing. It was good times back then. Really good times back then. I mean, I met some people. I mean, there was a guy that I actually ended up dating from Yahoo chat room. It was Yahoo chat room. We actually met up in New York City. So, what can I tell you? Stranger things have happened. But this was one of my beginnings with social media. It was talking to people, sharing ideas, sharing your hobbies, talking about music, like everything under the sun. If you had a hobby, there was a chat room for that. If you were into some musician or video game or anything, there was a chat room for that. And we got into the chat rooms. They were open 24/7. You just kind of picked up and kept going. Now, if you're much older, you do recall the party line. And that was a different thing when we had landlines and what have you. So we transitioned to something digital, i.e. chat rooms, in my opinion, the chat rooms. But then came along blackplanet.com and I was like, ooh, we have found our tribe. I was in college then. I could not wait to get out of class and see who left me a message and see what other conversation I could get into. Black Planet was amazing. I don't know why we have not revived that yet. Maybe somebody's thinking about it. Clearly I'm thinking about it, but I don't have that skill. But it was the place, man. We had great times there, great times. So, I look back at where we were and I see where we are now. And so today's conversation, because I'm gonna get right on into it, is about, there's a social media slowdown. People are looking to reclaim genuine connections because it's just gotten really noisy. I'm gonna play this intro and then we'll get into it. afternoon. Good afternoon. It's 4 o'clock Central, 5 o'clock Eastern, and you are watching Girl, Listen. And obviously, I am Gwendolyn, G.R. Houston Jack. That is who I am. Happy to have you here, whether you're watching live on LinkedIn or YouTube, or you're watching the replay. No matter where you're watching, be sure to like, you can subscribe, and leave comments. I want to know about your social media history, if you will. Before I jump back into the conversation, let me share some comments here. So hello to my sister. Hello. Yeah, I loved my Pop Sugar days. I cannot believe that they had to shut that down. And I tried to save my blog posts because we were given the option to download all of our data. I downloaded it, and when I opened it up, it failed. And so everything I wrote, gone. Everything. And if you recall, you know, I used to do a lot of Guuuuurl blogs back then. Like I was in it. So I know, you know. Yes, the chat rooms were extreme. They were fun. And you could just have conversations. And people weren't acting all ignorant. We were just talking to each other and doing things. You also say too many keyboard warriors now, and people are being mean. The people who are miserable have showed up, which has changed the vibe. I'm going to talk about that. I am going to talk about it. And shout out to my mother who is here, because the mother's here. I just want to say this now. As you know, I am still doing all things green. Doing all things green. I do have on my glasses, my readers. I have another pair, but they're blue. I'm feeling green and navy this year. So maybe I have another palette coming, but these are from Glitz Optical because I want to shout her out because I can. Glitz Optical, yes, she can style you virtually. You don't have to come to her in Dallas. You can get online at glitzopticalonline.com and you can get a risk-free consultation. Beautiful, beautiful glasses. Beautiful. And the other part of this too, which perhaps you may not know, but not all eyewear is designed for all faces. And one of the things that Amber looks for is for eyewear that takes into account her customer and all the different faces and nose bridges. Like she thinks about that. So the brands she's bringing in, they are intentional. And I love her for that, which is probably why I stay in the store getting glasses. Okay, let me get back to this conversation. Let me get back to it. And I'm going to take a slight detour. Hold on. I do need to do a detour because this was not on the record for today. It was not on the agenda, but I do like to pivot when necessary. So last week we had Miss Alice Harvey here on the show. We talked about the true cost of Project 2025 and 2026, which goes after women. And lo and behold, we are already planning to have another conversation. Why? Because this just came out. This just came out from Chairman Steele. He introduced the Make Elections Great Again Act. Now, I'm going to say this really quick and feel how you want to feel. But when people work extra hard to suppress your voice, your right to vote, clearly there's some fear there. Just saying. When people say there's no point, people wouldn't work this hard to take away your voice if it didn't work, if it didn't matter. So I just want to make sure that's clear. But let me resume really quick and then I'll get back into my social media conversation. But I want this to be known that this is the Make Elections Great Again. This is the MEGA Act. It's a comprehensive package of election reforms that puts the baseline requirements in place for state election administration. Pretty much, they require photo identification to vote, require state to verify citizenship of individuals when registering to vote, implement stronger routine voter list maintenance requirements in states, require mail-in ballots to be received by the close of the polls on election day. That's major. Require states to use audible paper ballots, extra major. Ban ballot harvesting, ban ranked choice voting, and ban universal vote by mail. Okay. Tell me that you don't want people to vote without telling me that you don't want them to vote. That's what this is. So she and I are going to get together very soon and figure out when she can come back. We can talk about this. There's the SAVE Act, which was really geared towards women, taking away their right to vote. Man, the working overtime. So just know it is on the agenda. We're going to figure out when to get her back in and talk about that. But let me get back to today's conversation, which we're going to talk about social media again. So let me just go over some highlights really quick, because I want you guys to get an idea as to how fast this moves. And it really starts back in 1985. In 1985, there was Quantum Link. Yeah, that was launched for Commodore computers. Now, I know some of you in the audience weren't even like on the scene in 1985. It's okay though. It's okay. We're not gonna hold it against you. It's okay. We didn't have a computer in 1985. We didn't. That was not how we were rocking. But what can I tell you? In between 89 and 92, we got America Online, as I mentioned, and the chat rooms explode because people like talking to each other. And in 98, that's when Yahoo Chat came on the scene, and they again offered theme public rooms. And it was really popular up until the early 2000s. People were all about the Yahoo Chat. As I mentioned before, in 1999, Black Planet came on the scene, and they were one of the first niche social networks because it was driven by influential Black culture, creativity, and connection. That is where it was, and we were living there. Now, I never had Friendster. That was not my thing. That was in 2002. I was like, okay. I believe some people had that. Gwendolyn was not one of those. I wasn't big on jumping on every social platform. I was living in the chat rooms, and that was good for me, and Black Planet. But, college times where I was. Now, from 2003 to 2006, that is when profile-based social media came on the scene. So number one, 2003 was a MySpace. Never had MySpace. Never had it. I didn't get the point. I was like, I don't understand. Never had MySpace. In 2003 also was LinkedIn. And at that time, LinkedIn really was about professional networking. That was their goal. Where they are now, not that they're all over the place, but they are recognizing that professional depends on your environment. Okay? Professional depends on your environment. So if you are a creator, that's what you do. That's your full-time job. That's a professional job. Photographers are professional. There's a lot of professions out there, not just the IBM corporate blue suit. 2004, Facebook came on the scene, which I did not join until, I think 2016. 2016, I think, maybe 2014. And that was only because of my business. And even then, I didn't use my first name. 2005 is when YouTube came along. 2005. And again, I was just here watching the videos. I didn't even share anything just yet. And there are a lot of people who are on YouTube who just watch. They don't share any videos, but that's cool. Now, 2006 to 2010, we get microblogging and real-time social. So 2006, God bless it, was Twitter. Yeah, I was very active in Twitter. Extremely active, so much so that we would do gallery hopping on a Thursday. This is the New York branch of Black Twitter. Thursday was gallery hopping. Friday, we would get out and do other events. Saturday, Sunday, we were out somewhere at some street fair, and then we do it all over again the next week. Crazy busy. And it was only 140 characters. And you had to learn to make it work. You had to really figure out, how do I make this work with 140 characters? It was fun back then. And now, well, 2007, 2009, you had Tumblr. You had WhatsApp launch, which is great for international. And then 2010, Instagram comes on the scene. And I want to say, even with Instagram, I didn't get on that till like maybe 2012. I want to say, or maybe 2011, something like that. My very first picture was a picture of champagne and some Gouda cheese. That's how I started. It's still on my Instagram account too, because it's there. 2011, we had Snapchat. 2012, Facebook buys Instagram. 2013, we had Vine, Periscope, Meerkat, Pinterest. 2013 to 2015, all of that. Do you guys remember Periscope? Oh my God. And Vine, never got into it, but I did watch it. I did watch, people's things and what have you, but what can I tell you? And now we're here. So 2016 to 2020, you get your algorithm feeds, right? You get short form video. So TikTok in 2016 came on. And then 2018 to 2020, you got Reels from Instagram, YouTube introduced Shorts, and then everything became about the algorithm. Now, why do I bring all this up? Let me tell you why. Because it does have an impact. It has an impact. Now, I will share this quick little chart that shows what was popular back in 2019, like by downloads. By downloads, TikTok number one, because it was new on the scene. Instagram was trying to figure it out. Facebook had already acquired them and had jacked it up so much. So we were like, nobody really cares about Instagram. Snapchat was kind of getting in there. Pinterest is still fairly popular, but it kind of comes and goes. Twitter was coming down. Discord, Twitch, LinkedIn, Monkey. There are a lot of platforms that are used worldwide that we never see or talk about here in the US. So I am speaking about the US specifically. And now with the changes happening over at TikTok, don't know what's that. I don't know what that's about. I take it back. I do and I don't. I do know that there is now US interest. So it is not the TikTok that you have come to know and love. I do know that the terms and conditions they're asking for a lot for you to use their app. Do with it what you will. Okay. Everything has a price. If the price is for you to be tracked and for them to know all your business, then hey, have at it. Not where I thought, but I got rid of mine back in like the end of 2024. I was like, the writing's on the wall. I'm gonna go ahead and go away. But there were other things that have come up from social media. And we're talking about the impact mentally, physically, emotionally. There have been studies that have shown that there's a lot of anxiety that have come from younger people in regards to social media. Now, I'm an older dog. Not that has spared me, but I guess it kind of does. Like some of the things that they talked about that social media has created is self-esteem, depression. There's this constant barrage of perfect lives and perfect stories and how you don't measure up, and it gets in people's heads. As a matter of fact, there was another social platform called Be Real where they would give you a time to just upload whatever in that moment. So you couldn't practice it. You couldn't prep it. You just had to come on and be yourself. I don't know if that one is still as popular as it was back in 2023. I could check. But you had younger people trying to figure out, okay, how do I beat what is currently in so many ways hurting me, literally hurting me? How do I do that? Because the impact is real. So we talk about depression, we talk about anxiety, we talk about dopamine dependency, that constant doom scrolling, the lack of real engagement, the fear of missing out. Now, I don't have the fear of missing out. I come from a time where you had a VCR. If you were lucky, you had a VCR. And with the VCR, if you could remember to get it right, you could record your show. Otherwise, you just didn't see your show. And the world kept turning. We were like, guess we're not going to watch it. Because that was it. And my mother had Bible studies sometimes. And so we were hoping to get done with Bible study so that we could go watch like the award show. Yeah, sometimes we made it, sometimes we didn't. Let me get into the comments here. Let me get into it because for some reason, my notification just turned off or whatever. Okay, so Jess says, I remember your Twitter days. Look, I was in a good number of places. Gwendolyn I was on a soapbox. If I came back, if I was reincarnated, I would be a 5%er. I would be on the corner somewhere in Harlem on a box screaming at people. Yes, that would be me. Hello to Dr. Tachi. Hello. Great to have you here. She says TikTok became popular during COVID because people were bored in the house and on lockdown. That is true. Not the AI stream. I don't know what the AI stream is, but help me out there, Big Cookie. Good afternoon to you, Gary of GNC Sports Talk. And Dr. Tachi says, I had been on TikTok since it was Musically. Musically. Oh, dang, Dr. Tachi, you brought that up. Oh, man, yes. Right. That was around in 2017. Yes. Man, when you do the remember when, now what's funny enough, in the midst of all of this research that I was working on, I didn't bring up Google Plus, and God forgive me. I mean, Google has a way of bringing up things and like getting rid of things, but Google Plus was pretty big. I had a lot of friends I met on Google Plus, and we are still friends today. And I say friends now because we became friends. I'm all for it as long as I could get bean pies from you. I would have them too. Gwendolyn could so be a 5%er. I really could be. So let's go back to this, people. So I say this again. I didn't grow up with this constant barrage of stories. Now, we had magazines and we had videos and we had like TV and everything, but we're coming in late. So again, for me, I don't have the fear of missing out. Do I believe that there are people who are in my age range? Shout out to you, Mr. Ron Foster. Perhaps there may be some people my age who have the fear of missing out. I don't have it because we never had we just missed it. That was it. But they talk about also with this influx of social media, the lack of attention, right? People are attached to their phone. Young adults and teens particularly are very vulnerable. They have been linked to heavy use, and that has increased their rates of depression and anxiety. They also talk about a distorted self-image and comparison culture. The filters. Now, I'm a photographer. I'm telling you right now, I'm a photographer. I don't like using filters. Will I do some color grading? Yes. But if I give you an image, the last thing you should do is throw some janky filter on my art. Please don't do it. Please don't do it. But this constant screaming of what you should look like and what you should be wearing, what car you should be driving, what you should be doing, these really well-coiffed stories. Yes, no filters here. These stories, the impact is insane. It's insane. They talk about body dissatisfaction, low self-esteem, identity confusion, relational aggression. We're not going to talk about this bullying, which happens a great deal online. There is the disrupted attention, how it's impacting our sleep, the lack of attention and memory. Let's just go there. Now, I know I'm getting a little on the other side, and so I kind of forget why I went in the kitchen. After I get into the kitchen, I get that. I mean, that's just it. But the idea that people can't focus on something for more than 30 minutes, 30 seconds, pardon me. I don't believe that. My long form content, it keeps attention. And let me tell you something. I am really happy when I get people to clock in for 25 minutes. I'm like, ooh, okay, doing pretty good there. But I have a different crowd. Yeah, there are impacts that we're going to be studying from here on out. But here is the deal. It's noisy right now. It is crazy noisy, and younger people are making a shift. I've been talking about this. I'm going to talk about it again. I've already said it's noisy. I can tell you right now. I have been deleting accounts again since 2024. It's too much. It's too much. It's too noisy. It is not what it was when I first started. It's not the chat room days. It's not even the days like in 2005 to 2008 where you could talk to people and you would have those IRL meetups, in real life meetups. It's not even that anymore. There are some really miserable people out there and it's just noisy. There's tons of ads. It's not what it was. The engagement it's like pulling teeth. You got people lurking in the background. It's like, well, if you're going to do all that, at least leave a comment or like it, say something. Say something. It will not hurt you to say something. So here's what's changing. People are taking their time back. They're disconnecting. They are being more intentional with their social media. I encourage you to do the same. As Jess says, oh my God, the ads send me now. So annoying, extremely annoying. It's like everything is a freaking ad. It's like, can we stop? So here's a story here real quick. Let me just show it to you. And I talked about this. I'm going to say it again. The young people, Gen Z particularly, has started this trend. They are buying pre-owned BlackBerry phones. It is a shift in consumer preferences. They're moving away from Samsung and Apple. They are favoring the simpler and less intrusive experience that BlackBerry offers. This trend is driven by a desire for a break from the constant connectivity and the digital overload of modern smartphones. Can you believe it? Now, they also like the tactile keyboard and the rollerball. Now, I enjoyed my BlackBerry. I had the BlackBerry Tour. Oh my goodness, that was a beautiful phone. That was a beautiful phone. Yeah, they're buying pre-owned BlackBerries. Now, I know I talked this to Dr. Tachi. If you have a pre-owned BlackBerry, there's a market for you. There's a buyer looking to get it. Don't sleep on it. Do not sleep on it. People are making changes, and good changes at that. Really good changes. Gary says, told folks the other day BlackBerry was on it. Yes, this is real, people. This article is from June of 2025. Okay, there are more articles out there. As a matter of fact, if you want to go on YouTube, you can find videos of people outfitting their BlackBerry. This is real. We're not making this up. Jess says, maybe I need to blow the dust off my BlackBerry. I love my BlackBerry. You put me on. Hey, I'm just trying to, there's a resale market for your technology. I still have my Palm Treo. I don't know if they're going back that far, but I got it close just in case I have it close. People are deleting accounts. They're deleting accounts because at one point we kind of felt as if we need to be everywhere for everything. And now we're realizing it is highly overrated. It ain't even necessary. It's not. Just yesterday, I didn't even know. I mean, I kind of forgot about it, but I thought about doing Tumblr, never did a thing, deleted it. There's a lot of digital footprints that I advise everybody to go out there and check it. Check your footprint. See where you are. If you're not using it, get rid of it. There's a couple other I deleted last year too. Start with the F and a B, and it ain't that other one. I'm deleting stuff left and right because it's like if I'm not engaged, if I'm not even there, and what's really bad is that I want to support brand new platforms, I do. But if the engagement is not there, I cannot get down. If you're looking for people to simply lift you up and give you these vanity numbers, that's not where I thrive. It's not. Gary says, yeah, I looked up something a few years back. BlackBerry still was existing. It is. Yes. Now they do have some other business that they deal with on the corporate side. I want to say security to be exact. But their phones are selling again. They're not making any new phones. They might want to get back in it. I'm just saying they might want to get back in it. Ron says people are adding BlackBerry keyboards to their Apple phones. Yes, that came out, I think, at the CES show. I think it's called Click. Is it called Click or something? Correct me if I'm wrong there. But people like the tactile. They like the keyboard. It's just people are deleting their accounts. They're like, look, I'm cleaning up my digital house where I am. And here's what else, which is past time, but we're talking about the end of the influencer era. But first of all, I am word of mouth. So if I have friends who said, ooh, this was really great, you ought to try it, I'll look at it. But this whole thing, because so-and-so said to buy it, I need to go buy it, never understood it. I really don't. I never understood that. I just, different time, different generation. But this is ending. The influencer era is facing a significant shift with the growing number of users opting out of the content they once consumed. This trend is particularly evident among Gen Z, who are increasingly seeking genuine recommendations and social responsibility over glossy, repetitive ads. The culture is oversaturated, over-rehearsed, and out of touch with a preference for raw and relatable content rather than polished, hyper-filtered routines. Woo! Yeah. Now, y'all know me. I have shared many a times my home office with confetti and all kinds of whatnot all over this floor. I have shared my kitchen dishes, dirty, stacked up. And I'm like, and this is real life. And this is real life, people. This is real life. But that whole super polished is just, I don't, look, to each his own. But I am happy that trend is dying. It needs to go away because it's not real. It's not real. I haven't continued to clean up my digital blueprints. Yes. Look at what you have. Look at where you are. If it's not serving you, get rid of it. Be done. And influencers are dying in social media. That's real. Yes. You know, it came to a point where, like, again, we share stuff. I have shared things. I talk about my glasses all the time. I do not get anything from her for talking about my glasses. I love these glasses. I openly support her business and a host of others because I believe in what they are representing and what they sell. So I have no problem saying, yes, you should get this. Yes, go get you some glasses that look really good, right? That's just, but we are in this place where everything is being sold, everything. And I think people are just, maybe here, the American consumer is just done. They're done with it. Probably because it wasn't real to begin with. That could be the main thing, that it was not real to begin with. People are ready for the truth. They want real stuff. They don't want people and all of their like heavy makeup faces and whatever else. And keep this in mind, a lot of those influencers, they didn't buy that stuff. Some of them were given the product. Some folks were dumpster diving for empty shopping bags to pretend they went and shopped someplace. Y'all, look, it ain't even worth all of that. Like, you're dumpster diving for a Louis Vuitton or a Chanel shopping bag and putting something in there to say, ooh, I just went to, really? Like, that's what y'all do. That's what y'all doing. Okay. Or you're going to some hotel setup to take photos in this room. And, you know, me as a photographer, I look at everything. It's like, is it me or are they in the same room? Or why are they all the exact same bistro having a croissant? I remember asking Ron about that. I said, is that AI or is everybody eating at the same place? Because that's just funny when they all have the same image. Whatever. Okay, Jess says, I do my research first. Too many people promote stuff just to make their dollars, right? And I am done with the commercials. I am done. It's just everything is selling something. And I get it. We do have to sell our wares. I get that. But there is a limit. There is a limit for all that is holy. There is a limit. Let's continue, shall we? So, upcoming events. Now, I don't know. Again, we don't know if this is going to be next week. It all depends on Ms. Alice. We might do the Meghan effect. Why a free Black woman feels threatening. Because, look, believe me, I trust, I understand, I know. We might do that, or we might be talking about that make elections great again. We may do one or the other. All depends on when she's available. But if not, we'll be doing this next week. Something to think about. We also have, and I need to change the date. It is every Thursday, but I just realized I volunteer on Thursday. I need to check these times. I need to get my times together. So I'm going to work that out. But we are there. You can always pop in. It gives me an alert. So we are there. But check that out as well. We also have our YouTube workshop, Lights, Camera, Subscribers. It is going to go down February 11th at 5:30 Central. You can get the link in the Luma calendar. It is in my YouTube bio. So check that out. I'll put it in the description too. It can't hurt. And if you haven't already, get on the Mature and Marvelous email list. It's not just about women, although I am a woman, so I kind of focus there, like, hello. But with the way things are going down, if there's anything you want to do, is that we should be connected, just in case, right? Let's just get that out the way. We should be connected just in case. So before I go, I want to say this. There is a lot going on. I didn't have a donkey of the day prepared, but I have a donkey of the day prepared. So let me talk about it really quick. All right, here are the donkeys. This administration that is coming for all of our rights, if that ain't the biggest thing, I mean, talk about some jackasses. There are some real work that needs to be done out in the US. There are some real issues that need to be looked at. But what we don't need to do is come after people for doing their job. First of all, First Amendment is free speech. And we want a free press to cover whatever is happening out here in the world. I get that legacy media is highly complicit and part of the blame for the hell that we're living in. So when you start rounding up people to make a point, because you feel like we need Black people in the streets to get them upset, to get them angry, to get this civil war going so that we can pull the Insurrection Act. Yeah, not taking it, kid. We're not going for that bait. If anything, the only thing you have done is you have told us that we need to get louder. We need to make sure that we are heard and seen, but we're not going to do it the way that you think we're going to do it. We're not. We're not. Georgia Fort and Don Lemon, yes. It's when we start doing those kinds of, when we pick and choose who to prosecute for executing their First Amendment rights. Look, people, if you didn't think that it's gone too far, I need you to look again. Really look again. Beyond snatching up people off the street, beyond having a 5-year-old baby down here in Texas in a detention center who is ill, his classmates are wondering where he is, beyond executing American citizens in broad daylight, like we're in New Jack City. Yeah. We said today on Ron's show, Ms. Ali shared it and I seconded it. You got to stay woke. Stay aware. If you got your head down and you're thinking, I don't want to. Now, I will say this as I wrap this up. I was watching birds today eat in Nashville. Protect your peace. Limit what you got to limit, but do not check out. Do not check out. As a matter of fact, I am beyond getting my headshots done today. I had to get some headshots done. You know what I'm saying? Beyond that, I'm about to get in these streets, go see my girlfriends, go have some margaritas and some Tex-Mex and laugh a little bit. Get you around some people. Get out your house. Go outside, meditate, feed the squirrels. You can get corn to the cob at Lowe's. The squirrels will come and chat with you. I do it all the time. We're in dire times, people. We are in a fight for our democracy and our lives. Literally, this is it. This is it. Don't check out. Don't check out. but get you some good people. Shout out to Jazzy. Hello, Jazzy. Hello. So yes, I want to thank everybody for showing up today. I know that we are here, and I thank you all for being here. I want you all to be safe this weekend. And before I forget, hold on. I just want to make sure. Hold on. And I'm sorry. I normally have these things together, but I thought there was a documentary coming out tomorrow, and I want to make sure that we support it, because I'm petty like that, and I want to make sure things are good. Let me see here. Hold on. I'm asking my friend. You know, I keep my friends. Yeah. I just want to make sure what we can do. I know there's a lot of things going on out there. Make sure that you do what you have to do to protect yourself. What did I just walk in? Corn and squirrels. We're talking about protecting your peace. Staying engaged. But if you want to, you can get corn on the cob for squirrels at Lowe's. And if you put it out, they'll come up and they will enjoy themselves. The crows enjoy themselves. You can do the little things that you can do to keep yourself together. Keep yourself together. So let me get on the road, because I have to get into this traffic. But this is Girl Listen. I am GR Houston Jack. Thank you all for being here. Stay safe. And Lord willing, I will see you all here next Friday. Hey, it's G. Thank you for watching this episode of Girl Listen. Be sure to catch me every Friday at 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern. And while you're here, I cordially invite you to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. See you all next week.